Welcome to the Learn to Trade course. This video will cover charting in your charting software. Most charting packages are similar. I will be using NinjaTrader, which is the charting software I own. I will cover how to create the connection to the data broker. Then I will show you how I add the currently trading contract to the instrument list. Then we will create a chart using that contract and start to cover the features of the chart. We will cover different bar types and the reasons why I use my preferred bar type. The goal is to give you an idea of how to work with a charting package. Let's get started. Okay, let's go over connecting your data platform, your charting package, to your data provider. Your broker should have sent you the connection information. Somewhere in your charting package you're going to have connections. You're going to click that and basically you can configure at that point. And with NinjaTrader they have most of the providers. I have the CQG provider right here, and you would basically add the provider, and then at that point you would put in your username and password and any other settings that you would have at that point, and you would just click apply, and then all of a sudden you would have that connection. And then in the morning when you made your connection, you would just come in here and you would pick one of your connections that's here, like the simulated data feed. It would just say CQG right here, and that would make your connection. So that's how you make the connection in your charting platform. I'm sure other charting platforms are just like it. Okay, let's briefly go over how to add contracts to NinjaTrader. So in the tools and the instrument list, you have a futures instrument list, and you would just come in here and say add. You would give the symbol, so micro ES, and then you would give the month and the year that you want to add, and that would add it for the current contract 6/19. This would work with any of the ones. So here's ES 3/19. So if we wanted to add ES 06/19, that would now give us the ES 06/19 contract. Let's go over how to make a new chart. So you would go new, you would say chart, you would now pick the contract, the MES 6/19, you would select the type, tick, you would put the value of your tick bar here, the number of days to load, and then basically the rest are settings that make up your chart, and you would hit OK. We won't get anything because there's no current data or connection, but we get a blank chart. I'm going to switch over to my live platform so that we have some data. Okay, I'm on my live platform. I'm going to create a new chart. I'm going to pick the ES for 6/19. I'm going to go ahead and do a tick with 30 days. I'm going to hit OK. I have no idea where the chart's going to land, but here's the chart. It's loading the data, and here's the candles. Notice up here, here's the contract. So we can change the contract if we need to. We can change the tick values. I'm going to pull this a little bit over because it's putting the menu outside of this. So you could change it to a 4,000 if you wanted to. There's chart styles here. So you can change it to box, candlestick, equal volume, all the different candlestick tiles. You can change the bar spacing. Drawing tools are across the top. A zoom feature, so if I just wanted to look at this section, you can change the pointer so that it now a crosshair. You've got a data box, and that just puts up data that you would have highs, lows on candles. So if I went over to this, it would show you the data on that candle, and it changes for each candle. You have a chart trader, which turns on over here. We'll turn that off. The data series, that's basically the days and tick type that we just went through. Indicators, so if you wanted to put moving averages or something along those lines. So we will just add a 80 ATR to the bottom of this, add, and OK. And that shows up down here as the ATR. So let's go over the chart a little bit. On the right hand side, this is price. If I click and hold, I can actually zoom this up. And you can see now that we have values like 42.25, 42.50, 42.75, 43. It's probably pretty hard to read. And not sure where to change that. Sorry, guys. Right here. Make that a big number, like 19. Let's apply. Hopefully that helps. So this is price along the right hand side. And then down here, let me get rid of this ATR. Down here is time. There's a chart tab for multiple tabs down in that corner right here. So let's take a quick look at, so this is a tick chart. I'm going to change it over to a 5-minute chart. You can see the candles are different on my 5-minute chart. They have a white outline. Notice that the pattern's kind of the same, but it's not the same. So with a tick chart, go back to the 2000, you have more bars here. It's more defined, and we can try and put two charts together and show the difference. So give me 1 second. I have no place to grab the chart. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a crosshair right here, and we'll call this a global, no time scale, and global, no time scroll. See if I can grab that guy in the back again. So you can see that the minute chart right here, as we go across on the tick chart over here, and let's see if we can scrunch this up a little bit more. Let's see if we can follow the pattern. So this area is this tall peak right here. And notice how many more bars you have on the tick and how much more defined they are. So this low right here is only on this candle right here. And then up, There's the high pivot, and then back down, and here's the high pivot right there. So you can see that there's a difference in the bar style right here. I just wanted to show you the difference between minute and time and tick values on this. So let's go over a couple more things. Okay, I just want to go over a few items here as far as the drawing goes. You're going to use lines, which is F2, and so if you wanted to draw like a trend line, F2, and then draw from point to point and click, and you can extend it, and that gives you a trend line right there. A regular horizontal line, looking for that right here. So if you wanted to draw it across that point, you would just click right there. That would give you the horizontal line. The other tools that I use is a Fibonacci retracement, but mine has been modified. So if I draw from the bottom to the top here, I literally have removed all the other Fibonacci lines, and I just have a 50%, and I use that for range extensions. So for example, if I draw from the top of this pivot to the bottom of that swing right there, when it breaks down, it's going to go 100% range extension, and we hit target right there, right? And then I can copy things with Control C, Control V, and then basically I can paste it in and do another range extension at that point. Deletes the items off the screen. And the one other item that I use, and I'm not sure if it's in the it's right here, this order flow volume profile. And so if I need a volume profile, there it is. And so that gives me a profile to do trading off of. And so those are really the basic tools that I use in drawing my chart. And I don't really use too much others as far as indicators or anything. So very basic, not very complex, but I do draw a lot of lines for levels. I don't draw too many trend lines or anything along that, and I still use this volume profile. And if you want to, you can click on this and click properties, and you can always change the color if you want a different color for your profile. And then it works the same for the line. So if I want to change this color for the line, I can make it tan. And that'll give you a different color for the line. And so that's how that works. That's the basic of the charting. I hope that's enough information to kind of get you going as far as understanding time across the bottom, price on the right hand side, drawing on the chart, setting up some basic profiles, drawing some support and resistance lines, and I think that's about it. We're using a tick chart here, so hopefully we can start with some technical analysis lessons in the next lesson to get you learning how to trade with a volume profile and support and resistance. I wanted to spend some more time going over the bar types that you find on the chart. And so what I have right next to each other is a 6,000 tick chart on the left hand side and a 15-minute time chart on the right hand side. And if I put the cursor on here, I'm on the left hand side, and here's this big tall peak over here, and you can see on the right hand side that lines up with the very tall candle, and that these 3 bars on the left hand side follow that one big bar on the right hand side. So the point that I'm trying to make here is, on the time scale, you will only have a specific number of bars in a trading day, and all the minutia that happens, like these 3 little bars right here on the left hand side, can be contained in 1 bar, and you won't see a lot of the back and forth action in a time chart. And as you can see, there's a lot more bars in a tick chart than there is in a time chart. If you look at just this area up here, look at how many more bars were printed in this time period on the tick chart than it was on the time chart. So that's kind of the reason why I use a tick chart versus a time chart, is because it kind of gives you an idea of the activity, how much trading's happening. So the blue line is the time that the market opened, or midnight. I'm sorry, that's midnight. And the white bar was the transition from the end of day. And you can see that there's very few bars in here, but a lot of time went by, and not much trading happened from the time that it closed to the time that midnight came. So that kind of gives you an idea. There wasn't really a whole lot of trading at that point, but the time chart still has a lot of bars on it. So that's another indication of how busy the market is. So let's go through some more of the charts. Okay, so we're still looking at a tick chart here. I'm going to go ahead and change this to a range chart. So I'm going to use the 4 range. And now you can see that the bars are only 4 ticks in size. So all the bars are the same size. And what makes a bar happen is whenever it moves 4 ticks, it creates a new bar. And that's a range bar. And so you can have a lot of bars on a range bar if it's got a lot of movement up and down. And so it can also give a very nice pattern, and it's not time based, right? It's based on the range, how far it ranges. So if I go up in a range, say like a 15 range, you can see the number of bars immediately gets less, and the pattern gets a lot more smoother, because all the back and forth is contained in 1 bar. So let's look at a volume bar, and that didn't change enough to make it worthwhile. So let's go down to 5,000. There we go. So now each bar has a 5,000 volume, so that means there's 5,000 contracts made in every bar. So whenever 5,000 contracts is traded, you get a new bar, and that also is not time based at that point. And so you can also see how fast the market is trading at that point. That's volume, tick, range, and then we've already covered minute. And so the reason I use a tick chart is not much different than you would use a volume chart or a range chart. It's just basically you're going to get more fidelity during the day and know how fast something is trading depending on the number of bars being printed. So rather than using just a minute chart where you're going to get a very finite set of bars on the chart, you can get more fidelity if you use one of the alternate bar chart types. Here's also a different type of bar chart, in that this is still a 2000 tick chart, but what you see here is the candle widths represent how much volume was traded in the candle. And so you can see that some of the candles have very low volume based on the width of the candle body. So this is called a equal volume candlestick. And so you can see right here there was a lot of volume traded on these candles. But that's a different type of candlestick chart there. So this is another type of bar chart. They call this a volumetric bar chart in the NinjaTrader platform, also known as a ladder chart. And you can see the bars, but next to the bars there are numbers which indicate the number of contracts traded on each side of the bid and ask. So this is just another type of bar chart here. In this video course, we covered quickly the basics you would need to know about in order to get connected to the data broker and the micro E-mini contract to show up on a chart. We went over some basics of working with charts and the different types of bars for charts. If you are finding the course helpful, please subscribe so you are alerted to the new videos when they are posted. Please post any questions you have in the comments so I can address items that I didn't provide enough information about. I hope you are enjoying the course. Take care.